Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, it's the end of the month, and so it's time for a new episode of PlayLoad. So these are just going to be my pickups for the month of September 2012. So let's just get started. We'll start with what you've already seen. Dead or Alive 5. I got the Collector's Edition, exclusive to GameStop, for Dead or Alive 5. This game is really, really awesome. I've always enjoyed the Dead or Alive series, and I would highly recommend getting this game if you can. Also because Akira from Virtua Fighter is in it, and there's a strong possibility that Ryo Hazuki might become DLC, which would be amazing. I don't generally like DLC all that much, but that's a really good exception to get the lead character of Shenmue, my favorite game of all time, into my favorite fighting game series of all time. So, yes, I would really like it if they did that. But anyway, moving on. I also got Super Monaco GP. I got this from PC Wizard 13. He sent this to me for free. I did a video about that. Actually, I also did a video about this, in case you didn't see that. He also sent me Shaq Fu, which is horrible. Yeah, this game, it's a decent racing game, I guess, if you like racing games. And Shaq Fu is one of the worst fighting games ever made, which is pretty funny. But it's pretty interesting. He was able to find 2 games to randomly send me that I don't have, because got a lot of Sega Genesis games, and didn't have those. So that was pretty cool. Geist Force. Now this is a special case. This is a somewhat new Dreamcast game. I did a whole video about this. You guys saw that, probably, hopefully. This game was originally made was being made in 1998 by Sega. They canceled it, and it just sat on a GDR for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. And the assembler forums, these guys got a hold of the original disc, and they were able to make pressed copies. Long story short, if you want more information, go check out my video. But this game's pretty good. It's kind of like a Star Fox clone, or Star Fox 64 clone. Over here, I got Pilotwings 64. Again, you saw a video, hopefully you saw my video, where I got a free N64 from my cousin that came with a few games, and this was one of them. I like this game. Pilotwings is kind of like, you have to get into it as an adult. I don't think a kid would really enjoy Pilotwings 64 all that much. But when you're older, you can kind of see why it would be cool. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 98. I am not really a hockey fan, certainly not a sports games fan. And but for some reason, this is an awesome game. This is a fun, genuinely enjoyable hockey game, which is kind of weird for me to say. Unfortunately, it came from a Blockbuster that just plagued it with stickers, and I can't get these off. I've tried. So just going to leave it and enjoy its end label. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I've never played this before, and I know a lot of you are kind of upset about that. But now that I have it, I can play it. Unfortunately, I can't really review it for that reason, but I hear a lot of people say this is one of the greatest, if not possibly the best game ever made, so I'm glad I've got it. And speaking of Zelda, I got The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I actually got this from a guy named Frankie. He and I did a trade in the past, and Link to the Past. We did a trade before, and I made a video about that, and we made a small trade just recently, and I sent him a copy of Sonic R, and he sent me this. The cartridge was in pretty nasty shape in a lot of ways, but I was able to clean it up. There was Sharpie on it, written, a name was written right there. The whole back was covered in Sharpie. Yeah, but I was able to clean it up, and now it looks pretty good, so pretty happy about that. Again, haven't played it, but I hear it's an amazing game, so maybe one day I'll have a Zelda marathon, and I'll probably start with the NES games. Alright, now, I got Family Guy for the Xbox. That just fell down. Yeah, I got Family Guy for the Xbox. This game is alright. It's kind of what you'd expect from a game based on that show. I remember thinking it was kind of fun. It's 360 compatible, which is always nice. Yeah, I don't know. If you see it cheap, maybe then you should get it. Fable, Lost Chapters. This is kind of an interesting release because Fable is a famous game, kind of like Elder Scrolls games. I'm not too huge into those kind of giant RPGs, but a lot of people are. And what I like about this version of it, the Lost Chapters, is that's really the only way you can get the DLC that was made originally, which is another reason I don't really like DLC, is when the servers go down, so does all that extra content that was made. Fortunately, some games like this were released later. They have the whole game plus all the DLC all on one disc, so as time goes on, these releases are the only way to play those extra missions and so on. So I'm glad I got that version, and if you like Fable, you should probably get that. Speaking of Fable, I also got Fable 2. I got both of these in the same place. Figured since I got one, I should get the other. I do have Fable 3, but I've had that for a while. Yeah, again, I haven't really played it, and I'm sure it's very similar to the Elder Scrolls games, or so I'm told. Just a prettier one. This too is also this is the Platinum Hits version for the same reason. It has extra content, more quests, and basically it has all the DLC on it. Which is, like I said, that's always good. iToy Anti-Grav for the PS2. You guys might remember last month I picked up an iToy, and so I wanted at least another game for it, and I got this one. This was kind of an early predecessor to like the Wii technology. I mean, you kind of stand there with the camera in front of the TV, and when you move your arms, the character moves their arms. It doesn't really work all that well, to be perfectly honest. The game is very subpar, but it was incredibly cheap, and that's always a plus. For the GameCube, I got Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. I hear this game is fantastic. I really, really want to play it. I have not had time. I've been working way too much. But I really, really want to check this one out. And fortunately, it supports progressive scan, even though it doesn't say so, which is awesome, because, progressive scan, component cables, 480p, the only way to play the GameCube if you can. So yeah, I look forward to playing this, and I'm really happy to pick it up. Back to the Future for the NES. This game is absolutely abysmal. The AVGN did an entire video about how awful this game is. But I love the Back to the Future series, so I wanted to get the NES game, especially when I saw it really cheap. And because I picked that one up, I had to pick up the sequel, Back to the Future 2 and 3. This game is equally just as bad, and I really only have it because it will make my NES collection look cool, as far as I'm concerned, because it has Back to the Future in it. Cosmic Carnage for the 32X. This is the first 32X game I picked up in quite some time. Got it in the box, obviously. Mark from Classic Game Room. I think he declares this is his favorite game of all time. Not really sure why. It seems like a very mediocre fighting game, to be perfectly honest with you. In fact, the thing I noticed about it is that all the sound effects are the exact same sound effects used in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie game for the Sega Genesis. And, I played that game ad nauseum as a child, so I memorized that. And so whenever I was doing anything in this game, they were making the same noises, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But, whatever. I thought the game was kind of mediocre, but the cover art's definitely cool. I'll give him credit for that. And it's always nice to get another 32X game. Then I got Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, the original Turok for the N64. It's the only N64 release I picked up, other than those three from my cousin. And, yeah, this game, it's, like a first-person shooter. The Turok series has kind of died down a bit, but this was back in its heyday when it was much more popular. I need to play it again. I haven't played this game in, since it came out, really. So it was just kind of nice to pick it up when I saw it for cheap. Then I got Mario is Missing and Mario's Time Machine. These games, well, this one I have more of a story about. When I was a kid and Super Mario World came out, and we all loved it. It was like one of the greatest games ever made. We were all desperately waiting for a sequel that never really came. I mean, there was a Super Mario 2, Yoshi's Island, but that was like a whole different thing. That came later on. In the meantime, they gave us this Mario is Missing and Mario's Time Machine game to kind of hold us over. Problem with that is we would buy it going, this is going to be just as good. And it's not, because it's an educational game. It's designed to teach kids things about history. And this is not a fun game if you were a kid. Okay, this is absolutely no fun if you're a kid. As an adult, you can appreciate it a little bit more. Because it's really also like a hard game to navigate and kind of figure out. But and this game is just more of the exact same thing. I'd be lying if I said I knew which one came first, but I knew that we bought this as kids and were pissed off because it was not a sequel to Super Mario World. So anyway, moving on. I got a few Sega Saturn games. NBA Live 97. Whatever. My beloved Chicago Bulls won the title that year, so that was awesome. And the same with NBA Live 98, my beloved Bulls, also won the title that year. So that was great. I really only picked those two up and NHL 97 because they were cheap and I wanted to give them homes because they were boxed. And that's also the same reason I got this game called Machine Head, which is a horrible, horrible game. You just like in this car looking thing in like a first person type of view, and you just kind of run around and shoot at stuff. I really did not enjoy this, but that being said, I did enjoy it better than any of these because I don't really like sports games. But I don't mind getting them because they look good on a shelf. They make the collection look better and bulkier. Really, that's the only function a sports game can perform. Now on to some good Sega Saturn games. I got Gradius Deluxe Pack. This is a Japanese game. I also got Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus and Gokyojo Parodius Da Deluxe Pack. These are all shmups, and they're all really, really good shmups. In fact, this one's usually considered pretty rare. I think this is the most common of them all, but they're all pretty... These two, at least, are pretty rare games, and they're pretty good shoot-'em-ups, so I was really happy to get those. I'll talk a little bit about that more in a moment. But also now I want to show you the systems I picked up. I got this Sega Genesis, which you guys saw, hopefully, the video of, PC Wizard 13. He gave me this absolutely for free, along with those two games. And I did a whole video on cleaning it up, so if you ever want to see how to clean up and, repair and restore a Sega Genesis, go check that out. I also got this N64. This one was from my cousin. You guys saw the video of that as well, hopefully. And it came with these two controllers. Now, okay, I said I would announce the winner of that vote video, which system you guys wanted me to do a video on next. And there was like 18 votes. Well, the choices you had were I could disable a 10 NES security chip on an NES, I could clean and restore a Super Nintendo, or I could clean and restore a Sega Dreamcast. The NES got like 18 votes, the SNES got 50 votes, Dreamcast got nearly 100, so it was a clear winner, it wasn't even close. So I will be doing a video on cleaning and restoring a Sega Dreamcast. So thanks everybody for voting, because that was really cool of you. And I want to show you now my favorite thing I picked up. Yes, a Model 1 Japanese Sega Saturn. And it came with these three games. And it's in incredible shape. And it's so much better looking than our Model 1s. Ours were just black, and they seemed very uninspired. I just like the gray color. Somehow the Japanese are always better at making video game systems look good. Their controller looks better. I don't know. I was very happy to pick this up because I got this not locally, but I got it within the States, and there was free shipping, so that was pretty awesome. And to come with these games, especially some of these rarer ones, was just awesome. So that's it, guys. That's my pickups for September 2012. And I want to say thanks to everyone who helped make this pickups video possible. PC Wizard 13, my cousin, Frankie, guys over at Assembler Forums, and all the people who made all these wonderful, and in some cases absolutely horrible games. Really horrible games. Thanks for everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. And look forward to that cleaning and repairing a Sega Dreamcast video.